All right, everyone. This is Eli. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm very happy to welcome Bev Lubi from the Chautauqua Region Community Foundation here today, doing a presentation on long-term sustainability and charitable gift annuities. This is something that I think is a great opportunity. All of our member libraries, no matter which county you're in, how big you're in, this is a way that people can give to you to help your long-term sustainability, and it doesn't, especially the charitable gift annuities, has a lot of advantages for them that Bev will be about. We are recording this so that we can give people the link later to watch this. If you have a question during the presentation, you can click that little chat bubble there and just type in your question. And then if you have audio abilities, I think towards the end of the presentation we can unmute everyone. And if you want to ask a question to Bev, you can do it with your voice rather than with chat. All right.
Right, and before Bev starts, we probably should mute everyone. And if you click on the telephone, we can turn off the chime.
Okay, so we are now muting everyone. The background noise, but we'll unmute you later. And until then, do you want to just click on the little chat bubble there, Bev? And then you'll see any questions. If anyone wants to type any questions, you can just type them in. So here's Bev.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. I really appreciate Megan and Eli inviting me to come to the library here to do this presentation for you. Unfortunately for poor Eli, he's actually already heard this presentation before, so he gets that wonderful opportunity to hear it actually again. As he mentioned, we are going to talk about long-term sustainability. And certainly each one of you, all of your, as a member library, you certainly have the desire to make sure that your libraries are sustained for the future. I've done this presentation for about 15 different not-for-profits in Chautauqua County, and each one of them has that desire to make sure that they become part of the fabric of our communities for the long term. I think uniquely, libraries have that extra component of also probably transforming themselves. What are they going to become in the future? I think that may be a question. So I think that that's exciting, as well as one of the other opportunities that you have for encouraging your donors and supporters to support you for long term. So I found that to be unique to you folks and also very exciting, actually. So what I'm going to do today actually is I want to give you some information on 4 very easy ways that you can encourage your donors, your friends, supporters of your libraries to support you for the future, to support your long-term efforts that will, again, help to sustain you for the future. And after this, there is one aspect of this program, the charitable gift annuity, which Eli mentioned before. That's one of the components. With our second presentation, I will go into more depth on that one. I'm going to assume that some of you, if not all of you, know a little bit about what the Community Foundation does. But just to reiterate what we do, the role of the Community Foundation is to make a positive impact with the community by establishing that bridge, hence that lovely icon, which I'm not sure if you can see. I may have to X out.
No, they can see it.
They can see it? Okay, I'm sorry, Megan. To establish that bridge that connects a donor to a charitable activity, so connecting a donor to you. And before we get into those ways that donors can give, I first want to review the reasons why people do give, and specifically why they give to endowment, and see if there's any differences between the two. You may have seen some of this information before. It's compiled from a list of the top 10 reasons that people list for giving. So we're going to go into why do people give, and then if there are differences between giving just normally as opposed to giving to endowment. And the first reason that people list as giving, the reason why they want to give is because they were asked. And for many of us, maybe many of you, that is actually the most difficult aspect of the whole thing. Asking people to give to support your organization can be difficult for some people. Myself, actually, it's not so much of a, it's not a difficult process for me. I'm willing to ask for just about anything. The second reason that people give is because they believe in the cause. And this is easy for you guys. They believe in you. They believe in libraries. They believe in your mission, and they believe in the programs that are associated with you. They have a relationship with you, so they know the asker. At our organization, at the Community Foundation, we can't stress enough the importance of having that relationship with donors. And it becomes especially important if you plan on asking them for a gift. And quite frankly, this time of year, people are feeling especially philanthropic. So it's a great time of year. I know that many of you are probably receiving those year-end letters, the appeals from various organizations. So it's always a good time, perfect time of year actually to begin, if not to end your asking process with getting donors involved. Tax advantage. Quite frankly, this is low down on the list. Most people, the tax advantage is not necessarily the reason why they give. You can see that actually in the list of top 10, I think it was actually even further down. I compiled this, I just took the top ones. So tax advantage, not that much of an issue. Now we want to introduce your donors, your supporters to that concept of perpetuity. Again, we're not talking about a short-term relationship here. We're talking about a long-term relationship that can assist the member libraries in achieving long-term self-sufficiency. So since we've talked about, at least touched upon the concept of an endowment fund, let's, go into what it is. I may be preaching to the choir. Many of you, some of you may know what an endowment fund is, but I'm just going to give a quick refresher. An endowment fund is a gift to the foundation that is invested for growth and income, and a portion of that income comes back each year for a charitable cause. So a portion of that income would come back to each of your libraries. It could be for just the actual library. It could be for a component of the library system, or whatever, quite frankly, the donor decides. And again, in that second bullet point, it is a permanent vehicle. We want everyone to remember that, again, this is for long-term sustainability. This is going to help to promote your self-sufficiency efforts for the future. So let's talk about those 4 ways that a donor can support your long-term efforts. All of these, of course, are going to involve the establishment of an endowment fund or giving to an existing endowment fund. And the first way that, one of the easiest ways, quite frankly, is through a will. Donors can make a planned gift to the libraries through their will. We all know that what wills do, they provide for our family members after our death. They will direct assets to the individual's favorite charities. And of course, they will provide some tax advantages for the individual's estate. On that third bullet point, it leaves a legacy of the individual without giving up those assets today. So what that basically means is that an individual does not need to write you that very large check today. They can leave a gift to your organization, to an endowment fund, through the Community Foundation, through their wills. Another way for donors to support your organization is actually another very easy way, is by changing the beneficiary of either a life insurance or an individual retirement account. That would include you as a beneficiary. Many people have, let's see, they have their, what's the word I'm looking for, Randy? Their old life insurance policy, that's the word, that are sitting in their drawer, sitting in a fireproof box, and, their kids have grown up, they really have no use for it anymore. So changing the beneficiary to whomever it was to include your organization is a very, very easy way for an individual to support you. And in addition, it may also have some tax benefits to the individual's estate or to the beneficiaries. The IRA rollover one will come over. No, in terms of change, the other thing that you can do is also change the beneficiary for an individual retirement account that you have to also roll it over to include you, your member library, as the beneficiary of that as well. And I believe that there were attorneys that were saying that this is one of the most overlooked things that many, especially people of retirement age, they have old ones that are kind of, again, sitting around, and they can very easily get tax benefits from that by changing the beneficiary to include your not-for-profit organization. Very easy way to do it as well. The charitable gift annuity is a third way that individuals can give to your organization. Basically, it is a gift of cash or a marketable security to the community foundation. There are a number of tax benefits that are available, and the individual will receive a fixed quarterly income payment for the rest of that person's life. At the time of the death of the annuitant, the remainder of the gift would go into an endowed fund at the community foundation to assist your long-term efforts. And again, this product line we will go into more detail on with our second presentation. It'll give a rundown and some scenarios on this actual product. And the fourth easy way to give is an IRA rollover. The government has passed legislation that says for the balance of 2013, if an individual is age 70 and a half or older, he or she can roll over up to $100,000 from their IRA to a charity without any additional tax ramifications that would normally come from a traditional IRA distribution. So that'd be a nice little chunk of change. $100,000 from an IRA to go into an endowment would be wonderful. I did want to mention too that there are a number of libraries. I believe the Faulkner Library actually has an endowment fund with us. Sue Siemens, I don't think she was able to be part of our webinar today. She wanted me to mention that those annual distributions that they receive are exceptionally beneficial. So let me just that concludes those 4 easy ways that your donors can support you. Let me give you a recap basically of what the Community Foundation does and how we can be your partner in long-term sustainability. I neglected to mention earlier that really the Community Foundation feels that this is really our niche. We want to be your partner in this. We have all of the documentation in place that can really assist you in achieving those long-term goals. And quite frankly, they're not difficult. It's not a difficult process at all. So if you look at the circular graph, if I had a pointer, I would do it, but you can see that where it says accepts donations from the community, basically that's exactly it. We accept donations every size, every shape, from every type of individual. Those donations go into an endowment that are invested for growth over time. The return on that investment is given back to the community through grants, through scholarships, and then the extra goes then back into the organization's endowments in order to complete that circle. So that idea of perpetuity that we talked about earlier, that concept is completely visible right here. How it just keeps, it's a cyclical motion where the monies are constantly being reinvested back into our communities to assist in the long-term efforts of organizations. Now, There's Sue Siemens there, actually, and Diane Crandall, another wonderful librarian. So that concludes our first presentation on 4 easy ways to give. I encourage you to take this presentation back to your donors, your supporters, your friends, and if you wanted to have us come out and do another one of these, whether it be via webinar or coming to do it in person, we would be happy to do that. That's basically what this is intended to do. Please share this information. Basically, you want to put those tools in your toolbox so you have a little bit more information under your belt that you can assist people that want to give to you to do so.
I do have a question.
Sure.
Could you have patrons come to the library to listen? So could a library say on such and such date, we'll have the Community Foundation come out and speak with the public and have the public find out ways that they can donate or make this useful for the library?
Absolutely, Megan. As I said earlier, I mean, our donors, people that give, are all shapes and sizes. So probably many of them are from our local communities that are supporting you, that are coming to the library. So yeah, absolutely, we'd be happy to do that. Now, do I need to ask any other? All I have is, can questions be repeated for recording?
Can questions be repeated? So I think they didn't hear Megan's question.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Can you repeat it?
Megan's question was, she wanted to know if patrons to the library we would be able to provide this presentation to any patrons to the library or to the general public. And the answer to that was an absolutely yes. We would be happy to do that. As most of our donors are local people, we would be happy to provide that service to assist them.
And Bev, if you know the libraries are watching this and they want to take another step after this presentation, should they call you, or I should have also said that Randy Sweeney, the executive director of the foundation, is also here. You might have heard his voice as well. So Randy is here to answer your questions as well. Who would be their main contact person if they just want to take the next step?
They can certainly contact me. Again, my name is Bev Lubi. You can reach me at the Community Foundation. I will give a telephone number. I will say it slowly in case you, it's 661-3390. Certainly you can visit our website, www.crcfonline.org, or you can certainly email me. I am blubi@crcfonline.org. So I think we will go into our second presentation now on charitable gift annuities. I'm going to get out of this one. So in this presentation, I'm going to provide you with some information on that charitable gift annuity concept that we heard about a little bit in the first presentation. It's actually quite an interesting product, and it's certainly one of the easy ways for donors to support your organizations to remember libraries' long-term sustainability. I had never really heard of a charitable gift annuity prior to working at the Community Foundation. And I always say that if I can get the concept, then basically anybody can. So I think that it will be something you'll certainly be able to understand. So what is this thing, this elusive thing called a charitable gift annuity? Well, it's a legal contract between a donor and the Community Foundation, where the donor makes a gift of cash or marketable securities and will receive a certain number of benefits from that. So why would I want to consider one? Well, let's go through those benefits. A fixed payment for life from the foundation. So that means that the annuitant will receive a check from the foundation every quarter for the remainder of his or her life. There is a tax deduction on that initial gift. There is certainly favorable tax treatment on each of those individual annuity payments. And at the time of death of the last annuitant, and that's in the case if it was a two-person annuity, the money will transfer to either establish a new endowment fund at the community foundation to benefit your organization, or to a current endowment fund to benefit your organization. Charitable gift annuities are actually the second most popular planned gift behind, of course, a will. And after the markets of 2000 to 2002 and the 2008 markets, donors were certainly happy to let the charitable organization bear some of the investment risk and opportunity. So why are they considered attractive? Well, first of all, as I said earlier, they are very easy to understand. They are not complicated at all. As I said earlier, if I can understand them, really anybody can. We administer, meaning the Community Foundation administers charitable gift annuities under the direction of the Department of Insurance for New York State. There is a guaranteed payout for life that is certainly much higher than you would typically receive in other income-generating alternatives such as CDs, which we all know at this point are the rates on those are exceptionally low. And many of those that are looking at this option, the option of a charitable gift annuity, they already have some charitable desire. They want to do something to support an organization like yours. So they have that desire to make a gift, but perhaps they would like a little additional income on their investment. So the charitable gift annuity option is absolutely perfect for them. The rates for charitable gift annuities are calculated by the American Council on Gift Annuities, the ACGA. And they have several assumptions that they use in their calculations. The first assumption is that 50% of the original gift will be left at the death of the annuitant to roll over into an endowment fund. That is, of course, making the assumption that that individual person is going to live to their anticipated life expectancy. So, of course, if they pass away sooner, there could be more left at the end of their lives, and of course, if they pass away later, there would be less left. There is also the assumption that the community foundation will have an annual return on investment of 4.25%. There are also a couple of other assumptions that are not actually listed here, and they are that the community foundation will have an administration fee, and there is also considered increased life expectancy for female donors, and those are all calculated in the ACAGA rate schedule, which you will see next. Oops, I'm sorry, I need to go back. Oops. Where's my back button? Yep. Sorry about that. So here's the sample ACAGA rate, their current rate chart. As you can see, as you look down this schedule, when you get around 70 years of age, you can see that the rate is 5.1%. And quite frankly, you would have a very hard time earning that with a traditional CD today. If you look lower on that rate schedule, you're going to see that as a person gets into their 80s, those rates are decently high. When the Community Foundation first started the charitable gift annuity program, at age 90, if you look, it's 9.0% here. In 2006, that rate was actually 11%. So it was a very attractive way, a product line for donors to take advantage of. I want to go into a basic illustration of how a charitable gift annuity works. So this charitable gift annuity is based on a 15% tax bracket. We have an individual named John Doe who is age 70, and he is going to make a cash gift of $20,000. So if you look at our little number 1 down there, out of that $20,000 original gift, there is going to be a $7,800 income tax deduction right off the bat. So attractive, extremely attractive, you can see. That's the very first benefit. When I go into our second slide here, if you look, I don't know why the annuity rate doesn't come up originally, but this age 70 person, John Doe, is going to receive 5.1%. So out of that $20,000, he is going to receive $1,020 for the rest of his life. Out of that $1,020, $767 of that is going to be tax-free. So he receives income tax deduction on his original gift of $20,000. His annuity payments that he's receiving for life are also tax-free. So two very attractive benefits. And the estimated payout, if he lives to his anticipated life expectancy, and we anticipate, I think he is scheduled to live 17 years, so he's scheduled to live to age 87 according to the rate schedule. He will get back $17,000, over $17,000, making the effective payout 6.1%. So he makes an original gift of $20,000. He's receiving annuity payments for the rest of his life, and he's going to get $17,000 back. So again, it's very, very attractive. At the end of the annuitant's life, the amount of money left over, which they're anticipating to be about half of his original gift, will then roll over into an endowment fund for your organization. So that would, let's see, that's the basic gist of one. Again, if the person is in a different tax bracket, the numbers would be, of course, a little bit different. The other thing to note on this, there are also no estate taxes. So that's another, so what is that, 4 or 5 benefits that we're already listing here. Very attractive product. I just want to give you a few notes on the administration that the Community Foundation must adhere to. Annuitants can take the payments immediately, or they can defer them for a period of time if they choose. The gift annuities can be for an individual or for a couple. But of course, the younger of the two is going to drive the rate. So if you have a couple, 60 and 65, the younger person, the 60-year-old, is going to drive the rate. Gifts of cash or marketable securities are certainly acceptable. And upon the death of the last annuitant, the remaining assets, again, will roll over into an endowment fund that will help to support your long-term efforts. A few more things. Currently, the minimum acceptable gift for a charitable gift annuity is $5,000. However, I do want to note that if you go back to that original chart where it started off with $20,000, $10,000, there would, if the person made a gift of $5,000, you can see that there would only be about $2,500 left at the end for an endowment gift. To start a new endowment for the Community Foundation, a designated endowment fund for your organization actually takes $5,000. So that original gift would have to be at least $10,000 in order to generate that $5,000 at the end. The minimum age to set up a charitable gift annuity is age 50. Our annuity payments are made quarterly on the 13th of March, June, September, and December. And the Foundation's Investment Committee really oversees all of the investments, and it's also a New York State requirement that the charitable gift annuity portfolio be invested separately from the Foundation's other portfolio. We currently administer, I think it says 17, but I think we're actually at 18 now. I think we have 18 active contracts that total over $370,000. So let's do a quick wrap up of the summary of those charitable gift annuity advantages. The donors will be leaving a charitable legacy to an endowment fund to support your library. They will receive income payments for life. There are immediate tax deductions. A portion of the quarterly payments also are tax-free and have tax benefits. Transferring of the assets from the estate is an additional benefit. A higher rate of return than you would typically get from a conventional investment such as a CD. The foundation is going to actually assume the market risk and use our own assets to secure this program. And the idea is that we'd like for your organizations to present the charitable gift annuity option to your donors by using the foundation as a conduit, so that can benefit your organization's long-term goals. We can provide all of the pieces needed to set up a charitable gift annuity product to you and to all of your donors. We'd be happy to do that, actually. Again, some library, great photos that you have on your website, by the way. So that concludes our charitable gift annuity presentation. Actually, I think Randy wants to say something quickly before we end.
One additional thing that Bev and I had not talked about is obviously those of you in Cattaraugus County may be wondering, you know, can I work with the Chautauqua Region Community Foundation on a charitable gift annuity if I have a, you know, a donor that's interested? And the answer would be yes. We'd be glad to discuss that with you and your donor, try to see what would work, you know, the best for them, make the arrangements. So that would not exclude the opportunity to take this product and use it. We're finding a lot of interest in it right now as the market is a little more stable and people are thinking more about philanthropy than they might have, you know, 3, 4, 5 years ago.
I do see that someone has a question, and I'll read the question. It says, is it $5,000 to start a new endowment? Can it be less if it is to a current endowment? And you have it exactly right. It is $5,000 to start a new endowment. You have 5 years to get to that $5,000 amount to make that endowment fund considered active. And of course, it can be less if it is going into a current endowment. We have a number of those currently at the moment where the amount of money is going into a current endowment fund. So good question.
If it doesn't reach that 5,000 threshold, what happens?
We don't have that many of those that has happened to. We, generally speaking, we would work with the organization. If they're really working at trying to get it to that $5,000, we are not going to say, okay, it's 5 years and 1 day, you're done. We want to work with you to be able to establish that. So we would do everything in our power to help you, to assist you. So, anyone else have questions?
Should we unmute the?
Sure. So I hit the little
phone.
Right.
Little phone and then
do yeah. Everyone is unmuted now if you have any questions. You might want to go back to the chat too.
yeah.
Could you explain to me a little more about the endowment fund? Let's take an example. If there would be a $10,000 fund for the Hazeltine Library. How do the yearly payouts work?
You would receive them annually, and it would be, we have a, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Pat Fincher asked, how would, if somebody set up a $10,000 endowment fund for the Hazeltine Library, how would they receive those payments? The payments would actually come to the library annually. They would be just a payout that would be made. It would be 3.5% of the, actually 4.1%. I'm sorry, I'm in scholarship mode. 4.1% of that $10,000 would then go to your organization each year. And of course, it would take into consideration the market, the volatility of the market, and investment activity and things like that.
So that could fluctuate.
Yes. Pat asked if that could fluctuate, and I said yes.
And once, let's say 10,000 is in there, and 10 years from now, the board decided, oh, that was a mistake, we don't want to do that. Is there any way to change?
You're talking about Pat asked if there was any way, say for instance, somebody, the organization set up a endowment fund, and I'm assuming she's talking about wanting to, they feel that your board made a mistake and wants to get the money back. And endowment funds are irrevocable. So once they are established, they are in place forever. Basically, the whole idea of the community foundation of endowments is that they will be in place forever. And I know Randy says quite often that we hate to say, you know, forever, but that's really what we are in the business to do. We are a forever business. We are hoping that that's actually the case.
The only thing I would add to that is a lot of that's driven by the Internal Revenue Service. It's not necessarily exclusively a policy of the community foundation, because if a donor makes a charitable gift to an endowment fund, they're going to receive an immediate tax deduction. Well, if the money was returned back to the organization, there's always that possibility that somehow in that transaction that the IRS might be in a position to be offering something even a second time, and they don't want that to happen. So a lot of that decision on the irrevocability, is coming from the Internal Revenue Service policies too.
Does anyone else have questions? Eli?
Do you have any idea how many libraries currently have endowments with you? I'm just curious.
My guess would be somewhere just shy of 10. And that's a little bit of a guess, but as I think about the various libraries, many of them have been established through individuals, that have had, a direct relationship with the organization and just have been so delighted, with the library, and decided either at the time of their death or even before then, to set up something to, again, maintain this long-term sustainability. So that's probably around 10 to 12.
I think this is something that every library should have at least one endowment account set up. I'd like to work with you guys to put together a brochure or something that libraries could just put at their circulation desk.
We do have a brochure that we have used. Actually, Myers Library has one. I believe Prendergast has one. And we can certainly either email that to Eli, and you can update those and, change them so that they are customizable for your own library. But it will contain basically all of the information that we presented today. But it's just nice. I did have a woman from another not-for-profit who just came in the other day, and she said she handed that little brochure to a donor, and a couple days later the donor came back with a donation. So sometimes it's easy to hand them that as opposed to asking, but I think that doing both of those together certainly makes sense.
We had cases at the Patterson Library when we had a brochure out, not for the foundation, but for our own endowment. And, we never knew who was taking the brochures, but then, years later, we would find out that someone had put us in their will without us even knowing.
That's a very good point. And that whole idea is that you would love to know who these people are. I know that the Community Foundation, and I know a number of other organizations have a legacy society, is what they would call it. They want to be able to thank those donors who have made that decision to make a planned gift to your library. And wouldn't it be wonderful if you knew who they were ahead of time so that you could thank them ahead of time and also allow them to see somewhat of the benefit of your organizations, as opposed to all of a sudden getting this gift at the end of their life and you didn't know who they were. Of course, some people do want to remain anonymous, and that's perfectly fine, but it's nice when you do have that relationship with them.
And to Eli's point a little earlier about having an endowment fund, you never know. You just do not know what people are thinking, and it's always good to have a product in place, so if they are thinking of supporting the organization, they have a way to do it.
Anyone else have questions? Right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedules to listen to our presentations here. I want to thank Eli and Megan again for inviting me to be part of this. I know that we were the guinea pigs today, so hopefully we did an okay job.
Great job, Bev.
Thank you. Thanks for being the guinea pigs, and thanks everyone who attended. And you've got Bev's contact information now, and that's also on their website. So
Great. Yep. Look forward to hearing from all of you.
all right, thanks, Bev.
Thank you.